I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my Matthew from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, they did the cast. They did the FX cast. The FX cast. It was an audio smash. Welcome to Super FX Podcast. It's a podcast about video games. My name's Tyler.
I'm Matt. What's up?
I literally
Did you Google the lyrics?
No, I had to. So I knew the first couple lines. I had to Google the bit about the slab, but I knew the rest of it. Also, it's Halloween. We're recording this on Halloween. You feeble listeners are listening to this in the future, which maybe it doesn't make you feeble. Maybe that makes you a little bit cooler because you're in the future and we're in the past. Yeah, but it's Halloween. We're recording Halloween. Actually, just as we were talking here, I got a notification on my phone from Disney Plus. My phone lit up and it says, "This is Hallow Stream. Chilling new tales and spooky favorites are all part of our Halloween collection. Tap to start screaming." So these brands, they love the word streaming so much that in the same notification, they made a play of it twice with Hallow Stream and Start Screaming.
I don't know, man. See, I live in America where you don't have to do anything specific to start screaming. You could just take a look around.
Jesus. Now if that's not scary, I don't know what is.
I know, right? And you're gonna be here in like 6 days.
Yeah,
5 days actually now.
Yeah, I'm flying out Friday morning. I'll be zipping over to you. I have to go get a COVID test to prove to the U.S. government that I'm cool to come in. $40.
Like we care anyway.
$40, which is like the cheap one too. If you need like the full-on thing.
Are your federal COVID tests not free?
So we don't have federal COVID tests. We have provincial COVID tests, and those are free.
Okay.
But you have to be exhibiting symptoms, and you there's like a booking process and everything. And they're very specific about like if you're traveling, like this is not the test that you want to take. Like this is just so you know if you have COVID and you know you can like stay home from work and isolate and all that. But
Right.
if you are traveling, they're quite specific that like you need to go do one of these like paid out of pocket tests instead.
Okay, I mean that's a little dumb, but I guess I understand.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating, but it's fine.
It's something.
There were ones that were like $150 if you need like the specific. I guess like some countries they need like the very specific tests, so it's like $150 to get those.
Right.
But the US is cool with just like the rapid antigen test, and that's only $40, which is nice. Anyway,
Yeah.
so you got to get that 72 hours in advance, so I got to like time it correctly. And the thing about it is that you have to get it 72 hours in advance of your flight to the US. So even though I have a layover in Toronto, I'm getting on the flight, stopping in Toronto, and then going onward to New York. So my test has to be within 72 hours of that second flight of my entry into the US, right? So,
my God.
yeah, it's quite the process, but, it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, 72 hours is a pretty good chunk of time to figure it out, so,
Yeah.
I'm more worried about the flight back.
Well,
I mean, obviously, if you get, shanghaied by the government and have to stay here because you couldn't get a COVID test in time, that's fine. We have room. I can still work while you're here. But
I will have to book my Walgreens COVID test like a couple days in advance, so we got to figure that out. You got to drive me to Walgreens.
there's a Walgreens like down the road, so
and then same deal. It's got to be like 72 hours or whatever, and then it should be okay. But yeah, if that doesn't work out, then you got a new roommate, buddy.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, Tyler and I are going to be super safe. We're not going to kiss this trip. We usually do, but not this time because, COVID. And
it's a disappointment to everybody, I'm sure.
yeah, especially to me, I was really looking forward to it because, last time at the very end, like you gave me what I'm pretty sure was just the tip of the tongue. And this time I was really looking forward to continuation of that. So it's going to suck. COVID ruined everything, dude.
I have nothing to say to you. Do you want to talk about video games?
Boy, would I.
We have a lot to talk about, actually, like a surprising amount.
Yeah, usually when we compile the list of stuff, we're like, oh god, what happened this week? What is there to talk about? And I'd say maybe, like, I don't know, most of the time it's like, all right, we're just kind of like grasping at straws. Let's pick a couple of things that are a little interesting to us. And
you can't give away our formula.
Formula, sure. But this time we were like, let's see, what happened this week? Gosh, I don't know, like nothing. And then as we started to think, we were just like, oh yeah, that. Oh, and that too. Oh wow. So like we actually do have some things to talk about.
Yeah. We actually had to like delete some stuff from the list because we were just like had too much stuff.
But yeah, we could start out with what have you been working on? What are you playing?
I finished Banana Mania.
Oh, good! Finally, you actually were able to finally get it.
Yeah, I got the game. I didn't have any trouble getting that. I still don't have Dread, but that's another story.
Yeah. That's the one that you were having trouble getting. Yeah, that's right.
But Banana Mania, I got it. Wow. Okay, so this game, you play like the first, I don't know, 5 worlds or so, and you're like, oh yeah, like this is Monkey Ball. This is kind of what I remember. Like this is fun. I'm breezing through it. It's not like that challenging. And then you get to world like I don't know, like 6 or 7 or whatever, and it's just like fucking difficulty wall. Like it's just out of nowhere. It's like there's this one stage that's like, hey, the game's hard now. Fucking deal with it.
I mean, that's what Monkey Ball 2 was like, but I said this to you when we were talking about it on Facebook, but I'll say it here too. Is like I think a lot of the difficulty comes from the fact that the Switch controller, no matter which Switch controller you use, it doesn't have an octagonal gate. It's a circle. So like your accuracy is way worse than it was on GameCube.
Yeah, for sure. I think that would definitely help. I talked about getting out like a GameCube USB adapter that I have for like from Smash on Wii U, and like plugging in a GameCube controller and seeing if it worked. I never actually did that. I kind of considered it, but the effort of like digging that thing out and hooking it up and like fiddling with it to try to get it work wasn't worth it. So I didn't do it.
And hey, you were able to do it without it anyway. So
yeah, I don't know. Like in my mind, but I'm thinking about Monkey Ball at like when I was a kid. Like I don't remember it being so fucking hard. I don't know if I just like never got that far. Like I maybe like as a kid I played a lot more of like the party games than I did like the actual story mode. I don't know, but like it gets. Like,
I think it's just that when we were
difficult.
Kids, we had a lot more patience.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is like. For video games, at the very least. I know I was an impatient child about anything else, but like when it came down to beating something in a game, I could buckle in and do the same thing over and over again until I beat it. But I can't really do that as an adult now. I have things to do.
Yeah.
So I think things feel harder by proxy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely true. I think that's a big part of it. I had a couple friends over and we were playing it. And it turned into, there was like a couple of stages where it turned into just like pass the controller around and anyone who wants a shot can give it a shot and like maybe somebody will beat it because like I just didn't want to play it anymore on some stages. And then you get to like the final stage. It's like the grand poobah, like here's the end. And it's like easy, like whatever. It took me like 2 tries.
Oh yeah. The rotating like AV disc.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? Like, it's just the difficulty balance is all over the place. There are some just like pain in the dink levels, and some that are just like a breeze.
Well, like the first 5 worlds, like you said, the difficulty I think is really good and it scales fine. And then once you hit like the beginning of World 6, it's just disgustingly difficult and it's all over the place.
Yeah. I did, however, like maybe halfway through, I went out and I went to like the in-game shop and I bought Sonic. So certainly that made my gameplay better, right? I couldn't imagine just doing it as a monkey. I know that being Sonic in the ball instead really upped my skill level.
They took the kind of gameplay that Sonic has, good gameplay, and they put it in Monkey Ball when you play as Sonic. So
I did. So maybe a couple days after I finished the game, I did get an email from Nintendo that says DLC for the Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania game is now available. And I was like, wow. I kind of thought for a moment that like maybe they like somehow knew that I finished the game, and now that they've got this automated timed email that sends out to me to like, hey, you finished the game, you can go back and play more of it because there's DLC. And so I thought that was clever, but I don't think that's actually what happened. I think it just like sends you the email like a week after you you first play the game or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I get this email. It says DLC is available, and it says, we hope you enjoyed the Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania game. Keep the fun going with DLC. Hello Kitty. That's it. That's the whole email.
I didn't get that email, but I got one about Metroid Dread. Like, no DLC or anything, but Nintendo was just like, hey, thanks for playing Metroid Dread. Here's some other games you can spend money on.
I also got a separate email from Nintendo, like a week after that one, that says, what do you think about your new game? We value your opinion, so tell us what you think about the Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania game for the Nintendo Switch console. So now, not only do they want me to know that Hello Kitty is available as a playable character in the game, but they also want me to review the game. So I'm expecting a week from now, I'm also going to get another email from Nintendo, I don't know, telling me to like pre-order Banana Mania 2 or something. I'm not sure. But
is that Hello Kitty DLC paid DLC? Or is
I don't
it
know.
just...
That's a good question. I'm going to click download now on my phone, so obviously it's not going to do anything. Oh no! Oh my God! No, it's not.
It's not paid?
Sorry, it's not free. It's $7.
Oh, it's not free. It's $7 for a Hello Kitty skin on my monkey?
Yeah, it's plays
Is it
the
just the
iconic
one
Hello
character,
Kitty from
Hello Kitty?
Sanrio. As she always says, you can never have too many friends. It's $7.
And it's
Just
one
for-
character.
Yeah, it's just
It's not like a pack of Sanrio characters.
No, it's just Hello Kitty.
Sega, what the fuck are you doing, man?
You can also get Suezo from Monster Rancher.
Okay.
You know, like the one-eye guy. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's been so long since I watched Monster Rancher.
He's also
or played Monster
$7.
Rancher. Why $7 for just a character? Like 3 or 4 I can understand.
You can also spend $7 to get the soundtrack. And I think you get to play the game, but with the classic soundtrack instead of like the remastered soundtrack. And that is also $7.
So you're telling me that for $21 I get 2 minor characters and a soundtrack?
Well, so that's not all. You can also pay $7 to get the Sega Legends pack. I think you know about this one. You can play as a Dreamcast, a Saturn, and a Game Gear.
So when you said Sega Legends pack, I was like, I was gonna say like I don't know, but then you said what it was, and now I did know. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's also $7, but you do get 3 playable characters. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to be picking up any of that DLC. I don't know how badly I want to be a Game Gear in Monkey Ball.
Here's the thing, right? The Sega Legends pack, that's also $7, right?
Yeah.
I think that's worth it because you get 3 different characters, but $7 for just Hello Kitty, that's I don't like that.
Oh, I can't believe we're actually debating the value of the DLC for Super Monkey Ball right now, like whether or not Hello Kitty is worth the $7. Hey, at least it's not like Fall Guys where it's like a limited time event only and you can't buy it. Like as far as I can tell, I'm gonna be able to buy Hello Kitty a year from now if I so choose. You know, they're not just gonna yank it out from under me. So that's always good.
Yeah, Mediatonic, take a page out of Sega's book. You know. Just maybe not at the same price. Anyway. I'm done with Banana Mania. I'm sure I'll go back to it for the multiplayer. I actually didn't do any of the multiplayer yet, so I'm gonna hop into it for some of that. Yeah. When you come to visit, we should definitely play it
Yeah.
together.
Oh yeah, for sure. I did pick up I was looking for something kind of like shorter to play between now and the trip to Retro World.
Yeah.
So I've been playing Celeste,
Ooh,
which
yeah.
I had the physical copy of and hadn't really picked it up since I got it. So I've been playing that, and holy hell, what a great game! That
Yeah.
is something special for sure. I knew that everybody was raving about it. I've actually listened to the soundtrack a ton. I
Yeah,
had
the
the soundtrack
soundtrack's
on my
really,
phone for
really
like
good.
forever, and so I like it's kind of interesting. I've never had this experience before, but I basically like playing the game. All the songs are recognizable, and I'm like, oh yeah, this jam, you know. And
Yeah.
but I've never played the game, so it's not like nostalgia, but it's kind of interesting.
That's actually I'll mention it when it comes up, but one of the games that I played recently, that's how I felt too. But
Yeah,
keep going.
yeah, it's weird. Anyway, the Celeste is such a. Do you remember? Okay, so this is what this game reminds me of, but like better. Do you remember N
Yes,
plus?
I absolutely do. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm
I
talking
used to
about.
play the shit out of the original N on I think Newgrounds back in the day, and
Yeah.
I have N plus on Nintendo DS.
And I gotta think that that was like an inspiration, at least,
Probably, yeah.
to Celeste. Man, it is so tight, and they do. So if you haven't played Celeste, Celeste is a platformer, kind of a Metroidvania at times, maybe, but just like a very tight kind of, very speedrunner friendly
Yeah.
platformer, akin
It's like
to
an
maybe
action platformer, I guess.
yeah, akin to maybe Super Meat Boy, if you've played that, kind of similar. Very, very tight controls, exceptionally tight controls. I don't know if I've played a game where it feels like this.
The only
And
other game that I can think of with controls this tight is Super Meat Boy.
yeah,
So,
yeah, it's incredibly. But they still are able to pull out like so much emotion and so much good storytelling through the environment, and it's like the pacing is just perfect. The levels don't feel too long and they don't feel too short, and there's like always a ton to explore and there's collectibles to get. But the game actually, I thought this is kind of interesting. The game is very clear about you don't have to get the collectibles, which I kind of
yeah.
appreciated. In the loading screens, there'll be like little like helpful tips or whatever, and one of them is like, you can get the strawberries if you want, but you don't have to. Like, they're just there to impress your friends. That's it.
I like it when games do that because because I know a lot of gamers get that. Like, you and I get it. Where we're like, oh, collection anxiety. What do I do?
Yeah.
And especially like in RPGs, I tend to play conservatively, and one of the anxieties that I have is whether or not it's like, should I fight everything? Should I never use any items? And
Oh yeah.
a couple of months ago, I was playing Xenoblade Chronicles for the first time, well before we ever established the podcast, and one of the first things they tell you right at the outset of the game is running away is a valid tactic, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah. I definitely like have been in situations where like some of the collectibles are like mainly strawberries, and typically it's like there's a kind of a puzzle platform kind of to go through to get each strawberry. Like it's kind of and it does a good job of making it clear that like, hey, you got into this new room and you can see the strawberry at the end, and you can go get it if you want, but if you don't want to get it, you can just turn around and leave and it'll be fine. You can just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple moments where I've gone into those rooms and I'd be like, okay, like I know I'm not going to 100% the game, so I know that this strawberry is not necessary for me to get. I'll give it a couple shots, and if after maybe 5 or 6 attempts I'm like not feeling it, I can just be like, yeah, fuck this, and turn around and leave.
Yeah.
And I've done that
I
a
think
few
the game's
times.
very forgiving.
It's
So.
super forgiving, and oh man, I love it. I can't get over just how tight it feels.
It's
And
I think the perfect balance, and I really do mean that, capital P, perfect balance of challenge and forgiveness in a video game. Is
yeah,
Celeste.
I think they do a really good job too of I was constantly waiting for them to like introduce my next move or like my like a new weapon or something, and
Yeah.
they never do it. It's basically like right off the bat you can run and jump, and then you kind of get that little dash move really quickly or really early on, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's your whole move set. And so they introduce new mechanics through the platforming, which I really appreciated. I feel like a lot of games lately are more open to giving you new abilities. throughout the game. And Celeste didn't do that at all. Celeste was like, hey, this is how you move, you can jump, and that's it, and you'll never be able to do anything else. And any other kind of new interesting mechanics are only shown through the platforming.
They're like anything new that you get, and I use new in quotation marks, is kind of just like an extension of the abilities that you already have. Mm-hmm. So, like, in this generation of video games, Celeste is able to build this foundation and become this very deep, challenging experience that became pretty much a phenomenon with just 3 main mechanics: run, jump, dash.
Yeah. I'm super excited to finish it. I don't think I'm going to go back and 100% it because there's a lot of collectibles. Like, there's a lot. Mm-hmm. And
honestly, this is one of those times where I think that it's really worth it because it's forgiving enough that I don't think you'll get frustrated.
Yeah, no, I certainly don't think I get frustrated. I think it's more of the time that it's going to take me to do it. I think there's a lot of parts that are like exceptionally difficult.
Yeah, you don't have to do it now.
Yeah,
do it eventually though. I think it's worth it.
I think I definitely will. It's not something I'm going to do anytime soon, but something that I would love to come back on. It's got a ton of replayability, and I can just totally see myself just being like, oh, like I've got, it's one of those days I got nothing going on, and I got some free time. And I just pick up some Celeste and grind out a couple collectibles, and then move on to something else. I feel like it's going to be really easy to come back to, because there's it's not like there's a huge crazy Metroid map that I have to like remember with like keys and weapons and like all this stuff that I have to like kind of memorize in a way. Like I feel like if I got halfway through like a Metroid game, I would have a very hard time coming back and kind of remembering where I left off and just like resisting the urge just to restart. And in Celeste, because it's so linear, I don't think I would feel the need to do that. You run, you jump, you have a little dash, and that's it. And so it's like it'll take me 2 minutes to get back into it, and then that's it. I can just pick a level and start and go in. So I think it'll be really easy to be able to just kind of pick it up and get back into it when the time comes. I think there's like I said, a ton of replayability. Speedrunners love this shit. I was watching some speedruns on YouTube, and it's just insane. The kind of like the skill that some of these folks have for this game, because like most of the time I can get through a puzzle in like 1 or 2 tries, but there are some where I have to it's like 50 times, 100 times, and then you get to they do that thing where you get to the end of the stage and it tells you how many times you died throughout the stage. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I probably died like maybe 30 or 40 times. And it keeps counting up and up and up, and I'm like, no, are you kidding me? It's like 200 times. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
But it doesn't even feel like it because the game is so well designed that you don't get frustrated, and it just feels like it's a nice, smooth experience. It doesn't. You can't even register that you died that many times because you're too busy having fun.
Yeah, I haven't quite finished it yet. I'm still I'm on the stage that I'm just finishing is like. The Golden Temple or Golden Cathedral or something. It's like I don't know. I want to say I'm getting the impression it's maybe like the second last world or maybe the third last world, something like that.
I'm not going to say a damn word.
All right, that's fair. So I'm going to hopefully wrap this up this week. And then I think I'm going to have to pick up Dread because I have been waiting to find it, as you know, at fucking Shoppers Drug Mart. And,
hey, look, if you do not find it before you come visit, we have copies all over the place here.
Oh yeah, no. Here's the thing: like I can go to Walmart and buy it. I have seen it at the stores. I just
you just want to take advantage of the points.
Oh yeah, because here's the thing: is that the only games that Shoppers Drug Mart sells are like first party titles and like maybe like big AAA like Call of Duty and that kind of thing. But other than that, like it's just for first party stuff. So. Whenever there's a first party game that I can like kind of wait on, that I don't need it like right at launch, I try to wait and so I can get it with the points there. But like for instance, like Monkey Ball, like they would never have Monkey Ball at Shoppers Drug Mart, and so I like screw that. I'm not going to even try. But first party stuff, they always have it. So that's why I was like so surprised that I fucking can't find Metro Dread. So I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and buy it for fucking $80 or whatever it is.
I mean, we can check the store and see if the Trading Post has a used copy.
That's fine. No, I'll live. I want to play it on the plane, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, we played a little bit of Mario Party 2 recently. I'm super excited to play Mario Superstars, Mario Party
Yeah,
Superstars.
which came out like just
Reviews
like a
look
day or
great.
two ago.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
came out. So we were playing some Mario Party 2 last weekend, and fucking Lauren yanked on the controller like halfway through. And hey, do y'all remember if you yank too hard on an N64 while it's on, the game freezes, of
Yeah.
course. And so, everyone's like, damn it, Lauren, I was winning or I was about to win, and now the game's frozen and there's nothing you can do. It's just turn the game off. It's over now. You
Yeah,
lost.
that was before the game saved between turns.
Yeah. So,
How far in did you guys get before Lauren fucked it up?
and maybe like 75% of the way
Okay.
through a game. I was like, well, party's over, I guess.
Was Lauren losing?
Oh, yeah, you know what? I didn't even consider that she possibly did it on purpose.
I mean, I'm just making a joke, Tyler. I'm not saying that your girlfriend is vindictive or anything. She's really clumsy.
And it was kind of funny because like some of my friends were like trying to fix it. They were like, "Oh, you just like jiggle the cartridge and like,
No, you fucking
and I'm
don't.
like,
This isn't the NES.
I'm like, yeah, that's not how this works. It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what have you been playing?
Since the last time that we had a podcast, I've actually been like dipping my toe into a lot of different waters, but there's two main things I want to talk about. There were three, but now I realize how trivial one of them is, so we're just going to move right on to the big boy. I have been finally playing, well, I finally finished it, Chrono Trigger. Because,
Trigger.
right, one of the last episodes that we did, like 3 episodes ago, you and I talked about, what are the games that if people found out we didn't play them, they'd kill us. They'd take us out back and pop us with a zapper. You said Link to the Past, and so you rectified that. And I said Chrono Trigger, but I didn't rectify it. And then my buddy Max was like, hey, play Chrono Trigger. What the fuck are you doing? So I did. And the game is so well designed that I 100%ed it by accident.
What?
Yeah.
Are there just like no collectibles?
There aren't really collectibles per se, but the 100% criteria that because I looked it up and everyone has a slightly different definition of what constitutes quote full completion, but because the game is pretty linear and a lot of people's definitions would include like 7 or 8 playthroughs, I'm just like, no, that doesn't count then. So like what really is 100% for Chrono Trigger, and speedrunners, who I think are probably the best authorities on the matter, as long as you get as long as you do all of the side quests and get the best ending, that's 100%.
Okay.
And I did that just because I wanted to experience Chrono Trigger to its fullest, so I 100%ed it by accident. But God, now I know why everyone loves this game. This game that I never I mean, I dabbled in it a little bit, but I never got far. But now I really understand why it's considered one of the greatest games of all time. I was really missing out. I can only imagine how much my life would be completely different if I had played Chrono Trigger earlier. And like, I'm not exaggerating. I know that might sound like, man, calm down. It's just Chrono Trigger. But like, now when we go away to conventions and like the live bands are going to play Chrono Trigger songs, I know them now. And when people are cosplaying as Chrono Trigger characters, now I know who they are. And those are super important things to like gaming as a whole. People love Chrono Trigger, so now I can be more a part of the community that I love so much just because I played this one game. And that's awesome.
Yeah. Did you play
Not to mention that the game is just amazing.
Did you play it on Super Nintendo?
I did. I played it on
played
the
it on the
SNES
cartridge?
original. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I've heard of some people. I've heard of like there was like a Steam release, and there's like the PlayStation one, and there's the DS one, and I know...
it came out on it's also on mobile. It came out on a lot of different platforms. They're all slightly different from each other, but for the most part, everything is the same.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Like,
that's one of those games where like I played it with a friend.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids. And like I'd like go home and he would like play more of it, and then I'd come back and he'd be like in a different spot. So
Yeah.
like I've watched someone play most of it, you know, but I have never actually played it, like actually finished it myself.
Well, now I'm recommending it to you.
Yeah, like I want to. Yeah. Ugh. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Have you played Chrono Cross?
Yeah. I haven't. It's a funny story. I actually owned Chrono Cross before I owned Chrono Trigger, and up until having played Chrono Trigger, I hadn't played either of them. I've been told by many different people very polarizing things. Some people really hate Chrono Cross that I've met, and some people really love it. And considering how much I really liked Chrono Trigger, there's a part of me that's scared I'm not going to enjoy Chrono Cross, and that's going to devalue my experience with Trigger. Mm-hmm. I still have to play it anyway, but
Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous because I really, really loved it. Like I loved Chrono Trigger so much that it knocked Crystallis out of my top 20, and now Chrono Trigger's on there.
Wow, I love how you have like this such a definitive top 20. If you asked me to put in my
do.
top 20 games, it would take me like a month to decide, and B, like you would ask me like 3 weeks later, and I'd be like, oh, it's all different now.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever done this before, but I'll make this quick because I think it'll be cool. But I'm just gonna run through my top 20 games real fast because I
Okay,
actually
and then-
have them written down.
Okay, and then I'm not gonna do that.
That's fine. From 20 to 1. Chrono Trigger, Twilight Princess, Glover, Wind Waker, Mega
What?
Man 8.
Oh,
Yes, yeah, Glover. Mega Man 8, Paper Mario, Animal Crossing 1 on GameCube, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Mega Man 6, Mario World, Mario Sunshine, Super Metroid, Link's Awakening, Mario RPG, Metroid Fusion, Metroid 2, Mother 3, Earthbound, Yoshi's Island, Majora's Mask.
I have a lot of questions, but we don't have the time.
You ask me one question. I'm accepting one question.
It's a toss up between like what the fuck Glover and what the fuck Mario Sunshine.
I love Glover, and I love Mario Sunshine.
Okay. Oh wow, thank you. That explains it.
I just think they're good games. Fuck what everyone else says, right?
That's fair. Yeah, honestly, like I don't care, but like, okay, we got to move on.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Okay, now I'm gonna have to make my top 20. Do you have a top 25 list? Do you have a top 30 list? Are these all separate documents you have?
They're all the same document. I have it going all the way up to 100, but I usually refer to my top 20 most often because I think they're the most important ones.
Yeah. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that.
No, you don't have to do that. I'm just an idiot.
Well, now
you
I
don't
kinda
have to be
wanna.
like me.
But now I kind of want to. I don't want to. I'm not saying I want to be like you. I just thought it was a fun idea.
Anyway,
All right. So you played Chrono Trigger. What else you got going?
yeah. So after I finished Chrono Trigger, for the first time, I started playing Doom, like the original for MS-DOS.
Wow.
I'm still in the middle of it, so I can't say too much yet, but I am really enjoying myself. I'm not the biggest first-person shooter fan in the world, but Doom is really, really good. I think anybody can get into Doom, honestly, as long as you're okay with gore. Although it's like 1993 MS-DOS score, so it doesn't count.
How are you playing that?
So I decide I do have a floppy drive, and I can run DOS games through DOSBox, but I decided to just purchase the game digitally from Good Old Games, which I didn't even know just automatically runs through DOSBox. So
Oh wow, like it's like built in.
it's like built in, yeah. So I am playing an actual copy of the DOS game. It's just a digital copy.
Yeah. Huh. I didn't realize that the GOG stuff was like so seamless like that. I was always under the impression
it's really
that
nice.
if even if you got it from GOG, you would still have to like install DOSBox and configure that and all that, you know.
Well, I already had DOSBox on my computer because I like to dabble in like old DOS games.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have a
Of
floppy
course.
drive for a reason. But
Yeah.
when you download a game from Good Old Games and it runs on DOSBox, it just like comes with its own code to run a temporary version of DOSBox on your
Yeah,
computer.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm really enjoying it a lot, actually. And I'm about halfway through. I'm playing
It's like
on the version...
perfect Halloween
Yeah.
game.
It is. I couldn't have picked a better time to play it, too. I'm really enjoying myself. I'm playing on the Ultimate Doom version, which was a re-release in 1995 that added an extra episode to the story. The original Doom had 3 episodes, and Ultimate Doom has 4. It's exactly the same game as Doom, just with 1 additional episode.
Right on. Is that what you meant by wood?
Yeah, have you never seen that meme where it's like my girlfriend called me today and she's like, "Where I can't find the case to your wood game disc," and it's Doom but upside down.
Upside down. No.
But anyway, let's take a move on to that gamer news with a Z, or it legally doesn't count.
Or is that?
Or it legally doesn't count.
I know exactly what you want to talk about.
There are a lot of things I want to talk about, actually, but I'll make these ones brief because they're not that important. First of all, I just want to say my condolences to Dr. Mario World, because it's like the one mobile game that I got really, really into after it came out, and I have been consistently playing it since then, like at least once a week, sometimes a lot more. And Nintendo decided to take it down, and now the service doesn't work anymore, and if you try to open it, you can't. So I just have this icon on my phone that I'm not going to get rid of because it's a memory of better times.
Does it at least have, like, the server is shut down, does it at least have, like, a nice, like, farewell message when you try to open it? Or is it just, like, an error occurred?
It's just an error occurring.
Oh, no!
I know.
Wow, that's crushing.
Yeah. It's like a Google Play Store could not open this application.
Really?
Like, please search for more info. Yeah,
wow.
It's really sad. Like, Nintendo posted some, like, farewell stuff on the Dr. Mario World Facebook, but, like, fucking... Why? Why get rid of this game? It had so much potential. They were even still adding stuff to it up until, like, just 2 weeks ago, even though they knew they were going to cancel it.
Do you think that that was, like, the intern? Like they had they threw the intern on it, and they were like, "Hey, you can just update Dr. Mario World every now and then, and that'd be great."
Yeah.
I'm just looking. You can still download it on the iOS App Store.
Yeah, but you can't play it anymore. So, like, what the fuck's the point?
Let's see what happens. Dr. Mario World loading. I want to play from beginning. Apparently, I've played it before. Loading. 65%.
Are you actually able to load it up? Maybe the Android version is already off the table, but the iOS version is still up.
Yeah, it lets me play it.
What? I can't play mine! What the fuck? You get 1 extra day out of Dr. Mario World. Alright, well, this just in. Dr. Mario World is only half canceled, apparently.
It sounds like you're going to have to just buy an iPhone so you can continue to play this.
No, I'm sure that's going to get taken down by tomorrow. At least.
Well, like, I'm sorry that your favorite pooping game has been discontinued.
Dude, I played it way more than just pooping. Like, I don't want to get too sentimental, but well, I love Dr. Mario in general. So, like, this game could have come out anytime, and I would have really loved it. But I used to play this game when I was getting over my dad passing away. It like helped me forget.
Oh my God.
So
oh my
like
God.
It also So I also have some sentimental memories with it.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
It's okay. I'm in a good mood about it, but I'm just sad that it's going away.
Well, I curse Nintendo for getting rid of something that is so meaningful. How dare they? Fucking online games, man.
But the other thing that I wanted to mention really
Watch
fast
out,
is
Doug Bowser. I'm coming after you, man.
our favorite boy, Tyler, Tally Tomarico, is at it again.
This is what I was referring to when I thought that I knew what you wanted to talk about. Fucking Tommy.
I mean, I wanted to talk about both, but yeah. As you guys know, other than talking about video games, SuperFX really loves talking about Tommy Tallarico, the CEO of Intellivision Entertainment and famed video game composer who holds the Guinness World Record for most video games worked on by a single person.
Great.
He's at it again. So we've covered him in the past, so I won't rehash too much, but there was another delay with the Amico, which we covered in a previous episode, and now the most recent thing is that Tommy's like, okay, remember when we promised you guys physical games in addition to downloads? And everyone was like, yeah. He's like, well, guess what? They're out already. The console's not out yet, but if you want to buy these physical games, they're already up on our shop. You can get all of them in a single bundle deal for like I think it's $180, which is not bad because you get a lot. You actually get a lot of physical games. But then people did buy them, and Tommy Tallarico straight up has been promising physical media for the Amico for as far back as I can remember. And you get the game, and I don't really care too much about it. Everyone says that the cardboard and the like just the game boxes themselves are of like poor build quality. That doesn't matter to me. They're physical media, so I really don't care too much about the build quality. What matters to me most is the media. And they're all just fucking download cards.
So they're just sending out a box?
So, yeah, that's basically all you're paying for is just the fucking cardboard box. And you get a manual, too. But, like, the physical media it costs more than what the downloads will eventually be. Keep in mind, these codes, they don't function yet. And digital copies don't exist yet because the console's still not out. So, whether the console's out or not is, it's neither here nor there for this anyway, because if you buy the digital copy of the game, they're like $10 or less, maybe. And these physical copies of the game, I think each one it runs you roughly $30, maybe $35.
Yeah.
So that means that for $25 more on average, you're just buying cardboard and paper and a little credit card that lets you download the game to your Amico. Which is again is not out yet.
This has to be this does not bode well for the status of the Amico. If they are releasing games for you to purchase without being able to play them on a console that has no real release date at this point, it sounds to me like they are either hurting for cash or this thing's just not coming out, period.
I honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. But wouldn't that be a very interesting thing in the annals of video game history? Yeah, I own an Intellivision Amico game, but I can't play it.
So what you're saying is you're buying them.
No, I'm not going to buy them. At least not yet. I don't have any reason to buy them until the console comes out. If I find out that the console is never going to come out, then I'll buy them. Because they're a nice piece of history at that point. But right now, they're just a scam.
Interestingly enough, you can currently, at least on Amazon Canada, you can pre-order an Intellivision Amico.
Yeah, you can here too.
Which is buck wild. There's no release date. 339 Canadian dollars for an Intellivision Amico, which does not have a release date, nor am I convinced that even exists. You can also buy an additional controller for $90. That's like DualSense money.
Tommy, what are we doing, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. Jesus. It does say that the controller comes with 6 premium games, but I think that's just a carryover from the console description.
Yeah. Look, before anyone jumps on my case about what's the big deal? Digital games are fine. That's not my problem. I don't care when companies are like, hey, here's a download card inside of a case just so you can own a physical copy. As long as they're transparent about it. Tommy from the beginning was like, no, you're going to get a physical game. And that is not what is happening. We're paying extra money for a hotel card. Like a fucking card key that you put into the fucking hotel room door.
It does say that each boxed edition comes with a 3D lenticular card, a premium metal coin, and an RFID game card that will automatically activate once each title is available in our Game Shop.
Yeah, so I found most of this information out from a video, and I'm going to link that video in the description of this on YouTube. So you guys can check that out if you want to. It's very short. It's only 12 or 13 minutes long for an explanation video. It's nowhere near the length of the Carl Jobst video on the WADA debacle.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth taking a look because that'll do way better justice to this than Tyler or I ever could.
I can't wait.
But that's about all I wanted to say. That's about all I wanted to say on that. I just wanted to lambaste our boy Tommy one more time. What's on your news docket?
What do you think the over-under is? How long do you think is going to take for us to get a cease and desist from Tommy Tallarico?
Well, considering we haven't said anything that is untrue, and we also haven't infringed on any copyrights, I think it's not going to happen.
I mean, I have said I don't think this shit's coming out, and I feel like Tommy is probably.
That's an opinion. That is an opinion, though. You say you don't think.
For legal reasons, we are stating that this is an opinion. All right, there was a lot of other announcements this week. Stardew Valley 2 was announced. It's not called that, but Concerned Ape did release a video that he's making a new game called Haunted Chocolatier. The sequel to Stardew Valley is called Haunted Chocolatier. It's not.
Jackie is really excited about it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who are big on Stardew Valley, myself included. I love Stardew Valley. This looked really cool until I saw the name. I don't know what it is, but I watched the whole trailer, and it kind of looked like it was like maybe like, I don't know, like Harry Potter-esque Stardew Valley. Like that was what I kind of got from the trailer, was like, hey, like this kind of like magical mystery world, and but it's like Stardew Valley. It looks like Stardew Valley still. Like I don't know, like I for whatever reason I was watching this trailer and I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna be able to go to class, I can learn some spells, and I can like brew stuff, and then it was like, oh yeah, the game's called Haunted Chocolatier.
Yeah, dude.
So that is out of left field and strange, and I don't know how I feel about that, but that's not exactly the theme I was hoping for. But
it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine. I'm sure it's gonna be a good game. There was no release date, but I can't imagine it's that far out, because I mean, based on the trailer, it looks, honestly, it just looks like Stardew Valley, but like more of it. So you know, like there's still work to do. Obviously, like there's level design and there's music and there's story and there's all that kind of stuff. But the core engine and a lot of the core artwork, I imagine, are all complete. So there was no release date, but I can't imagine it's going to be too far out. So yeah,
typically whenever indie games get announced, they come out pretty soon afterwards. Usually AAA games, they'll announce them and then they'll come out like coming in 7 years. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's no secret. Like Stardew Valley is one of those like kind of famous examples of like dude in his bedroom makes game over the course of like 4 fucking years or whatever.
Yeah, that and Undertale.
Yeah, and obviously it worked really, really well. Everything turned out really well for him. I imagine all of that kind of groundwork is just kind of going into this game, so he's got quite the head start. And this is not going to be 4 years along, but I guess we'll see. You know, we'll keep an eye on this and see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I mean, Stardew Valley has been out for quite some time now, so he has actually, if he started working on it after the release of Stardew Valley, then he has actually had quite a bit of time to work on it. Then it's been a lot longer than we think it has.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm excited to see more of that. What else happened this week? Things got delayed. There were some delays.
Oh yeah.
Elden Ring got delayed till like, I want to say February 2022. I think it was. I know I have a ton of friends who are like super stoked, like super like big on that series. So that's disappointing. I can't say I super care that much because I am not a big fan of the From Software stuff, and I know I'm gonna get lambasted for saying that. But it's just not my cup of tea.
So I watched you guys religiously, and I loved your podcast. I think you guys are really cool. I loved your Nintendo Direct reaction video. But then Tyler said he doesn't like From Software, so I'm unsubbing. And I'll, you know, if you guys want to get your fans back, you'll shape up, and you'll love From Software like the rest of us. Signed, everyone.
I kind of like Armored Core.
Advance Wars also got delayed, and like,
I'm
half disappointed. I'm not mad, because I own the Advance Wars games natively already. But it would be really cool to see it come out so that other people who have never had the chance to play it on Game Boy Advance could finally experience it, because it's really cool. If you like Fire Emblem, but you also like military action, then this game is for you. And it's very cutesy, and it's very easy to understand. So I think anybody could get into it. It just kind of sucks that it's going to be delayed. But, you know, it's not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I that one I can. I'm gonna pick that up. I like the Advance Wars games, and I'm excited to play like new stuff on Switch. So I'm definitely gonna pick that up. But I was not really in any rush to play it, so it's whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a bit sad though, isn't it?
Isn't it sad?
In it. I can't. You and I, we just can't do that.
No,
We're really bad at it.
I can't do accents. Period. I'm terrible at accents. I just it was never my thing that I could. It was never a thing I could do. I don't know. Okay, Sony had an event. It was one of their like state of plays. Nothing really exciting was announced. They did a bunch of like indie kind of like third party stuff. It was so
underwhelming that I didn't even know that it happened.
Yeah, like honestly, there's a new Star Ocean game, and there's a new King of Fighters. There's a new Five Nights at Freddy's. There's an update on Bug Snacks. It was that kind of event.
Wait, there's another Five Nights at Freddy's coming out?
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Man, talk about a game series that was just like pumping them out like friggin' rabbits having kids.
I mean, can you blame them? Like they got popular real fast, and so
of course I can't blame them. But it's like I guess it's a testament to like that kind of PC game that like they all use like the same engine, so you can just like recycle assets and like shit a new one out in 3 months and call it the second one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
and I'm not saying that they're bad games. I don't personally enjoy them a lot, but I don't think that they're necessarily bad games. But like,
no, not at all.
What was it over the course of like what 3 years? There were like fucking 5 of them or some shit like that, if I remember correctly.
Like yeah, like it's shovelware land at this point. Like
there were as many like Five Nights at Freddy's games as there were Nights at Freddy's to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, they are not, this, like, creative magnum opus masterpiece type games. They're not my cup of tea. They're not something that I'm going to play or have ever really played. However, I don't know if I can fault the dude for, like, pumping out all these games.
No, he's just making the right business decision at that point.
Here's this guy making these business decisions, multi-millionaire at this point, and who are we to be, speaking into our microphones, being like, hey, fuck these games.
This dude, I don't even know his name. I think it's Scott something, if I remember. He's probably just like, hey, what games are you guys making? Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Sit the fuck down.
For real. I think he actually had like some controversy around him. I think he was like super like Christian or something, and like something bad happened about it because he was like being a bit of a dink. I don't know.
A jerkwad.
I guess I can't really say much about it because I honestly don't know that much about it. But I think there's something now that somebody else is making them. It's not the same guy.
Okay.
Anyway, this is not the Five Nights at Freddy's show. We gotta stop talking about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Last piece of news: Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass, bringing N64 games and Genesis games. As y'all know, we were like mildly excited about this. It turns out it sucks.
Would you care to elaborate on that, sir?
Apparently, I have not played them myself. I have not downloaded it because I don't want to pay the extra like $30 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Reportedly, most of the games have severe input lag issues. And the emulation is reportedly extremely poor, to the point where like there are certain like areas in Zelda where like the fog doesn't render, so you can just like see everything, like shit like that. Just like very poor quality emulation. So that
I just don't understand how you screw that up in 2021 to emulate a game from nearly 30 years ago now. It's like 25 years. Well, how do you screw that up?
The crazy thing to me is like Nintendo is no stranger to this, right? Like they had the Wii Shop and they released a lot more games than they have on this service. And they released them on there, and like sure they were like $5 each or whatever, but like at least they worked to some extent, and they were able to like keep pumping them out. We Shop Wednesday, right? Like they had new games coming out all the time, and like they're no stranger. And that was in like 2007. And here we are, 2021, and they still haven't figured it out.
I just, like, it baffles me, especially because, like, this is only an example. Super FX does not endorse illegal activity unless it's really fun. I can go on, like, any, like, ad-ridden fucking spyware-giving site right now and download a ROM of Ocarina of Time and play it on some dude's, like, shitty emulator that you download from a website that is basically just a list of emulators, and the download links are just all right there. Windows, Mac, Linux, you want to download a zip or a RAR, and then you fucking download it and play it, and it runs 3 times better than Nintendo's official emulated copy.
Yeah, it's absolutely mind-boggling to me. The fact that it sucks, and B, the fact that they're charging so much for it. Like, here's the thing: if this was free, like, okay, fine, like, sure, release your shitty emulator. I'm not gonna play it, but like, at least it's free and like doesn't harm anybody. But if I'm paying like $60 a year to have this shit and it doesn't work, are you kidding me? Like, this is Nintendo we're talking about. Like, this is not in television, right? Like, this is not somebody who's like scraping, trying to get by, trying to figure out how to turn their failed company profitable, right? This is Nintendo, and this is like a console and a service that has a much further reach than in television ever will, and they fucking can't nail this after all these years. Are you kidding me? It's just inexcusable. It's baffling to me.
I'm sure that at some point they will fix it, but
I don't know if they will
fix it to begin with.
I'm not convinced, because like I could see them. Here's the thing: I could see them doing like a little like apology kind of thing, like a 3DS ambassador kind of deal, where like, oh, like, sorry, you paid all this money for this thing and you're not happy with how it turned out. Like, here's some extra games to make up for it. Like, I could see them maybe doing that, but I don't know. I can't think of many times where Nintendo has gone back and like tuned something up and fixed something. Like, I guess maybe the most recent example that comes to mind is the Super Mario Party, where they like came back and like added online multiplayer and or like fixed the multiplayer.
But they did that like 3 years later.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I'm not convinced that Nintendo even cares about this. Like, if they cared about this, this wouldn't have happened. You know.
Are there any problems with the Genesis emulation?
I haven't heard. I can't say for sure. That all of the news was about the N64 stuff.
Gotcha.
I mean, I can't imagine it could be much worse. I haven't seen either way. I think everybody was mostly focused on the Zelda stuff in particular.
Yeah, man, that sucks.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. And also, it seems that the N64 controller is just the same old N64 controller.
Even the same joystick?
Reportedly, yeah. I haven't seen anybody crack it open yet. I think like most of the orders were like just finally starting to ship just recently. So I don't think many people have gotten hands on yet. But as it stands, it sounds like it's just the same controller.
That's very disappointing. At the very least, they got to fix the joystick.
Which is kind of interesting to me, because you got to wonder like where the molds for these parts like still just sitting around, and they had to go dust them off.
I absolutely believe that they were. Yeah.
And they just
100%.
Print some more, just like the old days.
Yeah, pretty much. Because at this point, it's just it's just a metal piece that you put into the injection mold machine. Mm-hmm. And same thing for the Sega Genesis controller. Although Sega's been making like fake Genesis controllers since the beginning of time. They have actually never stopped. So
yeah, it's disappointing. That's, I think, all we had for news this week. I know you
pretty
have
much, yeah.
You have some like some pickups or some stories or something that you want to.
Yeah, I just have 2 really quickies, quick boys.
Let's go.
So a couple of weeks ago, my buddy Phil, who I met through the Long Island gaming community. There's a couple of different game groups, but the main one is Long Island Gamers United. It used to be Long Island Retro Gaming, but it got changed for a reason. I don't know why.
People were arguing over what makes something retro.
You know what? Given the state of some of the arguments that can be had in this community on the Facebook page, I wouldn't put it past them. But no, I love the community and I love Phil. He's a great dude, and he decided, Long Island doesn't really have a lot of gaming events of its own. Every August, there's the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, And I go to that every year, except for the year that stood still, but that one doesn't count. And that's great. Like, it's cool to have one gaming convention on Long Island, but it's like the only one. So Phil started up basically like a makeshift events service, and he started reaching out to different places across the island, and now he's got a bunch of different stuff going on, like a whole bunch of different events. And one of them just happened a couple of weeks ago, the E-Legends Retro Gaming Festival, which, despite the name, was actually rather small since it is his very first event. But it was a proper game con. There were vendors, there were games, there was food, there were cosplayers. It was a proper gaming event, and I went, and I was
the
able
things
to,
that I think about when I think about proper gaming events: vendors, games, food.
You know what I mean? It was like a con. It was a proper con.
Right
Even
on.
though it was really, really small. It was a proper con. There was everything there in some capacity that I expect from a convention. And of course, I got to buy games. And since they're all people from the retro gaming community, I got discounts. Because everybody knows who I am. So, it was awesome. Honestly, I just got a couple of like commons. I got another variant of Metroid Prime that I needed. I got the one that has the Target coupon on the cover.
God damn it! How many is that now?
That's 3 total, but I think there are 5 because there's
You
also
know,
a
I don't
Kmart
own
one.
a single copy of Metroid Prime. I do not own it.
We're fixing that when you come visit.
Yeah, it's pretty high on my list, so it's fair.
Yeah. I got Lemmings 3D for PlayStation 1, which is a long box title, so I needed that. But the most important thing I think that I picked up was I got Grandia 2 on Dreamcast.
Oh, nice.
Which it's not that expensive of a game. It's about $45, but I grabbed it from my buddy Chad, who I've mentioned on this podcast once or twice.
What's up, Chad?
He's also a speedrunner. Yeah, he's also a speedrunner, Frankie Frameskip. He only wanted 25. So, like, it's really nice to know all these people and be able to pick up some of these games for a lot cheaper than I thought.
Share the love. Share the love of Grandia
that's the
2.
whole reason. That's the whole reason you're coming over. We're gonna go to these stores. We're gonna visit these people. We're gonna get you some damn games, and then you're gonna need a bigger suitcase than you think to fly home.
I really hope that's not the case. One time, fun story. So one time I went to visit Matt, and I ended up buying so many games that I had to go buy a second suitcase.
This is like my favorite story.
Yeah, we went.
It's so like an us problem.
Legitimately, we went to Savers, and I bought like a fucking like $5 like antique suitcase that I then like packed like full of games, and I like wrapped them in like a hoodie or something. And like
I
this
think that
whole
was the
thing.
same Savers trip where Joe got all of his golf clubs.
Yeah, I think so.
Misunderstanding with the price.
Yeah. I filled this suitcase with games and had to check it because I think I tried to fit them into my like regular carry-on suitcase.
Yeah, we couldn't. We just couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, I got like 10% of the way in, and I'm like, oh no, this is not happening. So I really hope that this doesn't happen. I was looking into it. Right, every time I travel, and I always take carry-on. Like, it's so rare for me to check a bag. And I was looking at the check bag fees for this trip. $65 one way to check a bag, which is just bonkers. So it's like any game deals that I offset there, like, it's out the window.
They're really taking advantage of that like COVID travel fever. Now everyone wants to finally get out, so
I guess
they're willing
so,
to pay
yeah.
whatever exorbitant. You know what? Maybe that's not really the reason, but it seems like it to me.
Yeah, who knows? That being said, we will be at Retro World Expo in just a handful of days here. If you are
November 6th and 7th, Hartford,
November 6th and
Connecticut.
7th, if you happen to be in the Hartford area, I do believe that there are tickets still available.
Yes,
so
they're not going to sell out, but you have to pay a little bit more if you get them at the door. So if you want to come check it out or say hi to us, even like just go to the event. You don't even have to say hi to us. It's a great event. Support it.
Yeah.
It's $45 for 2 days. It's a 2-day event. That's pretty cheap for a con. There are a lot of YouTube personalities there. Like the Gaming Historian is going to be there. Metal Jesus is going to be there. Pixel Dan. If these names sound familiar and you like them, go to the event.
Pat's going to be there. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
Do you is Pat going to see you and be like, you motherfucker?
Maybe. We've talked about. I told you the story. I guess that's why you're.
Yeah.
Have I told it on the podcast?
I don't think so.
No. So, I love Pat the NES Punk, but I fully acknowledge that he can be a little bit of a wiener jerk, because he knows his stuff, and he knows that he knows his stuff. So he can be a very arrogant boy from time to time. I still appreciate him for what he does, though. The very first time that I ever met him, I got a photo, and I bought a copy of his NES guidebook. And he hadn't yet announced that he was working on his Super Nintendo guide, which he eventually did release, and I have that too. But at the time, there was no announcement in the works. It was just the NES guidebook. So I took a picture with him, and I was like, hey, I'm really excited to read this. I love what you do. Do you have any plans after this to do a SNES guidebook? I said it just like that. And he didn't answer me. Instead, he cocked his head to the side and just went, "Did you just say SNES?" I'm
Pat the NES Punk, not Pat the NES Punk.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah? He's like, "It's Super NES." And I'm like, come on, dude. Just let me fucking pronounce the acronym.
Amazing.
Like, I just bought your book. Why are you doing this? My friend Chris, who, Tyler, you'll meet when you come to visit, because I definitely want to have like a hangout with my collection crew.
Yeah, dude.
He loves that story, and every time I fucking bring up Pat the NES Punk, he's like, it's actually Super NES? I can't believe you just said SNES, you filthy casual.
You're gonna have to go apologize to Pat when you see him.
Yeah. Hey, Pat, you probably don't remember me. I was the guy who said SNES, and he's like, yeah, I remember you. I think about you every fucking time I go to bed.
The motherfucker with the hair.
You're the guy who said SNES.
That's your legacy in Pat's mind.
Yeah, meanwhile, here I am, really excited to see him again. But yeah, that was fun. Oh, God.
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I guess so. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about, but you know what? I think it'll be better if I tell you in person.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Next episode of Super FX will be live in-person recording.
Hell yeah.
It'll
still come out at the same scheduled time, so it won't come out for another 2 weeks. But we're going to record it in just a week, roughly. And we'll probably talk about our experiences at the con and other things.
Let's do it.
So keep a lookout for it. But yeah, that's going to do it for this show. Guys, to learn more about Super FX, please visit our website, superfxpodcast.com. And you can find the show wherever you find your other favorite podcasts, like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just pick your favorite. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, at SuperFXPodcast. Guys, reach out with any comments or questions on social media. We love to hear from you. You can also send us an email. That's hi, H-I, at superfxpodcast.com. If you like what we're doing, you want to support us, cool, dude, thanks. Consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/superfxpodcast. If you're a YouTube listener, give us a like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you would, please. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you can help us out by rating and reviewing the show. Special thanks to Kenny Martin for our theme song. You can find him at Kenma, that's KENMA.bandcamp.com. And guys, as always, thanks to you. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.